Hello and welcome to Just Vintage Crochet, and today I wanted to make this crocheted cape from 1891, and what caught my eye with this one was the accented ribbon that we run down the entire length of the cape, even on into the fringe portion. I really like that concept. I like the idea of it. So it says here that we are going to use a pale blue Germantown wool, but that Saxony, Split Zephyr, and Shetland floss, or any of these wools used for such capes, may be selected in any tint preferred. So I don't have, obviously these are, I think Shetland floss still exists. I know Zephyr still exists, but not typically in the United States. And Germantown still exists, but again, not typically in the United States. So what I'm going to use is this. There is no gauge, so there's no way for me to know what size hook to even use because they don't offer a hook size. I imagine it's just a given depending on, you know, the size of these wools that they're describing down here. But I'm going to assume it's something like this. This is, I've used this before on the channel, bamboo cotton from Yonky Monkey. And it is the diameter of this is 1.2 millimeters. It recommends using a 4 millimeter or G size 6 crochet hook. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I wanna give a big thank you to Catherine for going above and beyond. She had a heck of a time getting this yarn to me. So thank you so much, Catherine. I really appreciate it. And here we go. In today's pattern, we will be using 3 balls of the Yonky Monkey. Now, not 3 whole balls, but you're gonna need 3 to complete the entire project. Hope that it works out. I already did start it because starting it is very, very easy. You chain 7 and then you chain 1 turn and work single crochets in every stitch to the end. Whenever I wrapped this around my neck, it went around my neck perfectly with about an inch to spare. So it was very comfortable around the neck. So I think we're on the right path with this. This, I believe, is going to be like a size 1 lace weight yarn. So there we go. So go ahead and get your material, 4 millimeter G crochet hook, and chain 70, turn, and starting in the second chain from the hook, work 69 single crochet all the way to the end, and I am working in the back bumps. There we go. So I will be right back. Okay, now that you have your total of 69 single crochet made, this is written in US terms. It says here to turn, and here we go, turn, make 1 chain and single crochet between those underneath. Then it says to turn and make 1 more row like the last. So I did play around with this a little bit and I found it to be a bit fiddly, but then you get used to it. Turn, chain 1, and between these underneath, I believe is going to be this area, like you see these, this is the top of your single crochet right here. And then down here, it kind of branches off to a little V. I believe that's where we're gonna work. So just go right there between the little V's and work a single crochet. Just like that. Let me see if I can help point that out with this little thing here. Little lines that go this way and this way, I'll go underneath them from the side. Right there. And I believe that we are working between these right like that. I hope that that's easier for you to see. So right between them like that. Here we are to the very last stitch, which is going to be right here between these 2 little bars right here. Let's see how this will work out. So my first stitch is going to go right here. Then my next stitch will go here, and my next stitch will go here. that's how that's working out now. So I'm just going to keep on going. I'll be right back when I get to the end. Okay, so just finishing up this last row, and right here between these two little V's is where I'm going to work my last stitch. Seems to want to line up right there. There we go. Yeah, that worked out. So I kept my same stitch count of 69 stitches. Okay, let's see what we do next. So for the next row, we're going to start off with a chain of 3, and like we've been doing in this little V space down here between the single crochets, we're going to make 3 double crochets. If I can get in there, there we go. 1. Ooh, that's just splitting my yarn like crazy. 2 and 3. Then it says to chain 2, skip 3 single crochets. So I'm going to skip this very first one right here. That's kind of mashed up on these 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3. And between stitches 3 and 4, we have that little V down there, and we make our double crochets. Let me see, I think we make 3 of them. Make 3 double crochets in the next space. Yes, 3 double crochets. There we go. Chain 2, 1, 2, 3, and right here, this space, make 3 double crochets. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, made my way to the end, and I read on a little bit because I wasn't quite sure how to end this, and it said that we should have 24 groups of 3 double crochets. So I'm just going to end into there isn't any more like V-stitch for me to work into, so right into that single crochet right there, I'm just going to make my last group of 3 double crochet right there. Okay, so this says that this is the first row of our shell group. Second and third row of shells, so this is row 1 of the shells. So second and third row of shells, make 4 double crochet in the crochet center of every group underneath. So there we go. The next 2 rows are going to be worked like this. So I'm going to do those off camera, but we'll go ahead and start these together. We're going to start with a chain 3, and in the middle double crochet. Let's work 4 double crochet. Now for the next row up, I think what I'm going to do is work between these 2 double crochet. So I'm going to put my 4 stitches in the space between these. Now we chain 2 and skip the first double crochet and into the second, work 4. So that's going to be the repeat all the way across. Okay, there we go. I will be back when we get to the end. Okay, let's work on row 3 of our shells. So that'll be the second row with the 4 double crochet. So it says to start every row with chain 3. Now what I'm going to do is go between the 4 double crochet, just like this, and use that space between them as my workspace. There we go. And chain 2, and right there between them. So work this all the way to the end, then come on back and we will work row 5 together. Okay, now we're going to work the 4th row, and I misspoke before when I said we were going to work row 5 of the shells. I meant to say row 4. So for the 4th row, we're going to work everything the same, except for we're going to work 5 double crochet between the shells. And it looks like it's just going to keep carrying on that way. So pretty pretty simple pattern, I think, once you get the hang of it. Here we go. So we'll chain 3 as it says to do at the start of every row. And between the between the 4 stitches here, I will work 5. Then on the next row, I will work right into the center double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think at some point it tells us to do 6. And if that's the case, I will split the 6 and I'll work right between the 6 double crochet, just like I'm doing with the 4. So it just depends on whether we have an odd number or an even number, whether or not I'm going to split the stitches or work right into the stitch. So in this case, the next row up, I'm just going to work right into the 3rd double crochet over, which will put us right in the middle of our 5. So we chain 2, and right in the middle of those 4, I work 5 double crochet. Again, this is for row 4. I totally misspoke earlier when I said we were going to start row 5. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, one more. And that is our repeat all the way to the end. I'll be right back. Okay, finished up row 4. Now it says row 5, 6, and 7 make 6 double crochet for every shell. Okay, so that's going to be the next 3 rows. We work 6 double crochet. We start with 3, chain 3, I should say, and then I'm going to skip the first 2 double, and in the 3rd double over, I'll make the 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, chain 2, skip the first 2 double crochet, and in the 3rd one over, make 6 again. So we're going to do this for this row, row 5, the next row, row 6, and then one more row after that, row 7. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in the next 2 rows after this, I'm going to split the 3s here, and work right in the middle of the 6, right there between the double crochets. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, all done with that round, and of course this color is going to stress out my camera a little bit as far as color goes, so it's making everything get like an orangey, rosy hue to it. So see, normal, and I turn red. Okay, moving right along. Finished all 3 of those. Now, 8th and 9th rows, we're going to do 7 double crochet for every shell. So everything is the same. We're just going to be doing 7 instead of 6. And in this case, I am going to start in the middle, right between the 6 double crochet. And then in the next row up, because this is an odd number, I'll work in the center double crochet of the 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the next row up, I will count 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th stitch over is where I'm going to work my next group of 7, because that's going to be 3 double crochet on this side and 3 on this side. So it'll be dead center. Okay, guys, I will see you work 2 rows with 7 double crochet, and then I will see you for the 10th row. So this is rows 8 and 9 that we're working on now. Okay, now we are ready to work row 10, but actually we're going to work row 10, 11, and 12, as all 3 are exactly the same. We're going to make 8 double crochet. 2, 3. So for my first row, in the 4th stitch over, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll make my 8 double crochet in all the 4th stitches of every shell. But then the next row up, since this is going to be an even number, I will just split the 8 and work with 4 on each side. like we did for the 6, you know, split the 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 2 and count 4 over. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So work rows 10, 11, and 12 with 8. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, right, so that's it for rows 10, 11, and 12 with our 8 double crochet. Now for rows 13, 14, and 15, we're going to do 9 double crochet. Starting the same way, nothing changes other than we're adding another double crochet. So we start with our chain 3. Oh, it's not acting all, the camera's acting right. Okay. And I'm going to split the 8 and work my 9. Try that again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then for the next row up, I will skip 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the fifth stitch, I will work my 9 because we'll have 4 on each side. So the 5th stitch will be the dead center of that shell. So there you go. Then we chain 2 and then just jump over to the next shell and we split them right down the middle and work our 9 double crochet. I will be back when we are ready for row 16. So this is going to be rows 13, 14, and 15. So 3 rows with 9 double crochet shell. Okay, now we are on the last 4 rows. And I think at this point, if you want to make it longer, this is where you're going to want to do that. So it says to work 10 double crochet for every shell. Now that's for the next 4 rows, but you can do 6 rows or 8 rows if you want to make it longer. So these are meant to be short. Here's the neck, and you know, I think these just kind of go over the shoulder and down just a little bit. So they're like little capelets, you know. So here we go. 10 double crochet for every shell. Of course, starting the same way as usual. Chain 3. And I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th, start working my 10 because we're working on top of the 9 still. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now the next 3 rows I work, I'm just going to split the 10 and work with 5 on this side and 5 on that side and work between the stitches. Okay guys, here we go. Okay, now let's move on to the collar portion, and I found that if I keep the pattern in frame, the blue doesn't stress the color of the camera out. Let's see. And it instantly, rah! Okay, anyways. So we're basically going to make a row of fillet is what it looks like we're going to do. Oh, come back. May have to keep that there just to calm the camera down a little. Okay. So I'm going to attach right here. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it says to skip 1 stitch. So we're not chaining 4, which would be, you know, double crochet plus chain 1. So it says to skip a stitch and then make a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, and in the next stitch over, make a double crochet. So I will do this in every other stitch all the way to the end. chain 1, skip a stitch. The question is, we didn't skip this first one. I suppose it doesn't really matter. I suppose it doesn't really matter because I'm wondering, do we not skip on the last? Let's see here, all the way to the end. So, okay, well, that's fine. We'll just keep working this way all the way to the end. I'll be right back. So we'll start with a chain of 3 as our first double crochet, and into the very first stitch, because it doesn't say the space, into the very first stitch, we'll make 4 more double crochet. 2, 3, and 4. So skip, skip, and in the next one over, make 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip this double, skip the next double, and in the next double over, so the third double over, ignoring the spaces, we make 5 more. All the way to the end. So I will be right back and meet back up with you when we get to the end of this row. Okay, and that's 5. So this is how our work should be looking. Be right back. Now it says that we worked all the way to the end. Now it says to chain 1, turn, or turn and chain 1, and into the center double crochet of the 5, so skipping 1 and 2, and in the third double crochet over, we are to make 6 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then 1 single crochet in the space between the groups. Repeat to end of row. So we'll work 1 single crochet here, or in the space. So maybe we work around it like this, probably. And then we skip 1, 2, and in the third double crochet over, we start making the 6 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then work a single crochet right here. So that is how it should be looking. I will be right back. Okay, so I just ended with 1 single crochet on the very end, just to kind of match them up a little bit on that turning chain there. I just ended with 1 single crochet right there. It doesn't say to, but this end looks this way, and I wanted this end to match. So now it says to turn and make 7 double crochet in the center of the group underneath, and 1 single crochet in the single crochet between. Let's see, and 1 single crochet in the single crochet underneath, yes. And then repeat to the end of the row. Okay. I wonder, do we start with a single crochet again? Because it doesn't say to do that. So I guess not. So I just chained 1, and I'm going to split these 3 on this side, 3 on that side, and start making 7 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then it says to make 1 single crochet in the single crochet. And I'm going to split these again. 1, 2, 3, right here. And start making my 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. and then single crochet. So that is how it should be looking now. Okay, I will meet back up with you guys when we get to the end. Okay, so now at this point, it wants us to cut, and we're going to rejoin. I need to sew these ends in. We're going to rejoin down here on the last row of single crochet that we made down here. There we go. And it wants us to work some single crochets all the way up until we get to right here. So I'll chain one, and in that same stitch, if I can get back, there we go. Work a single crochet and just try to keep them even. I think I'll work 2 in this chain, or around the chain. And again, I think I'll work 2 on the end of this double crochet here. Just try to keep them even, you know. Now I can work 1 into the top of every stitch, and then right here is where it wants us to stop. It wants us to make picots, but here's how it wants us to make them. We chain 3, and instead of working back into the stitch, we just simply work a single crochet over. So it's calling that a picot. So chain 3, and then into the next side double crochet, chain 3, into the side right here, chain 3. Now we're going to work into every single stitch across, and chain 3 and work. I'll have to pull this over to access this chain, top of this chain right here. Work 1 there, 1, 2, 3. Next stitch over, chain or single crochet, then chain 3, and into the next stitch over, single crochet, then chain 3, next stitch over. So every single stitch, including the single crochets, I believe. Hang on, don't let me get too far ahead of myself. Okay, skipping the first and last. So we're going to skip the last double crochet, work a single crochet into the single, skip this double crochet, and then continue to make our picots here. So let's do that. 2, 3, make a picot. 1, 2, 3, make a picot. Okay, now we don't chain. We're going to skip this double crochet right here, and we're going to skip this first double crochet right here, but in the middle is that single crochet, and we're going to go ahead and work a single into that. And then without chaining, jump over this double crochet and make a single. Now we make our picots. 2, 3, and into the next. 1, 2, 3, into the next. Here, let me get this out from under so you can see a little easier. 1, 2, 3, next stitch over. And 1, 2, 3, last picot for this shell. So there's my single crochet. Skip the next double, work a single in the single. Skip the next double, work a single in the next double over, plus a chain 3, and we just continue on like this. Okay, so it should look like that. And your corners should look like this. Okay, I'll be right back. So I think we're going to finish this row the same way we started it. So I'm going to make a picot, a chain 3, that is, come down here. And then I need one more, 1, 2, 3. And right here, I'll make one. Now I will work single crochets all the way down to this point right here. Go work 2 in this one, 1 right here, 2 in here, 1, 1, and 1. I think that works. Okay, now let's see what we do next. Are down to the fringe, so let's go ahead and just, I'm going to slip stitch into this last space right here. Just because, I don't know, felt like I needed to. Okay, let's look at these ends. Look at, that looks really good. That's a cute collar. Very cute. I think this portion right here is where we're going to put the ribbon to tie this shut. And I want to tell you guys before we're completely done with this, so if you didn't skip all the way to the end, yay you. I'm actually going to be giving this away to one of you. Yes, yes. So the rules for this giveaway unfortunately do exclude a lot of people who watch the channel for no other reason than I cannot afford international shipping. Let's get this back in here to fix our color. I cannot afford international shipping or shipping to Alaska or Hawaii. I just can't. It's so expensive right now. So this is going to be for people within the 48 continental United States, the lower 48 as we call it. And you need to subscribe, you need to like, and you need to comment literally anything in the comments because that's the only way I can find you. I'm going to use the random comment picker. It's like a little app thing that randomly picks YouTube comments for you. And so it's going to be a total random chance that you get this. But I have decided that everything that I have been making for you guys outside of the mystery videos is going to be given away to you guys. So this is the first of the giveaways. I'm going to give away the Juliet dress, that like Hollywood style fascinator. I mean, all of the things that I've made, except for the Civil War era shawl. I actually use that. I like it. And the 1971 poncho, I use that too. Other than like those two items, pretty much everything that I've made on here is going to be given away. The bags, the everything. So this is going to be the first one. So what I need you to do again is to be subscribed and like the video and then comment literally anything. It can be a period. It can be a comma. It can be a hi, how are ya? It can be a this video sucks. If you comment, you have a chance to win, especially if you live in the lower 48 states of the United States. So go ahead and do that. And in 2 days, 48 hours from the time I upload this video is whenever I will upload another video showing you the random comment picker and who wins. And from there, all you have to do is, if your name is called, you will email me in the email that's in the description box and give me your details so that I can get this out to you. So yes, now let's do the fringe. So to make the fringe, it says to fasten the wool to the corner of the lower shells and make a chain of 31 stitches. Now if you look at this fringe, it's just loops of chains. And here we go. Let's make some fringe here and join into my very first double crochet right here. Is that my first double? Well, yeah, it does look like it. Alrighty. Here we go. Chain 31. 1, 2, goodness, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I swear I know how to crochet. Here comes excuse. Being stretched out under the camera, trying to look at the camera and my work at the same time. So please don't think I am just this silly. Oh, shoot, I lost my count. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. Now it says to skip the next stitch and single crochet into the next stitch over. So we're going to skip this one and single crochet into this one. Or if you don't like the single crochet, I imagine you can do a slip stitch. I don't think it matters at all. Okay, so I wanted to show you how it looks both ways. I did 2 with single crochet and 2 with slip stitch. So here are the 2 I did with slip stitch. Let me get you down in here. Here's the 2 I did with slip stitch, and here's the 2 with single crochet. And if I'm honest, I like the slip stitch better. I feel like it looks cleaner than the single crochet. But I'll just hold it here and let you decide. It might even be a little hard to tell, but I can tell. I feel like this is kind of a mess. I feel like this is kind of a mess here with the single crochets. And this looks really nice and clean. See? And now with it backed out. I just wanted to jump on here really quick and show you what I'm doing in the chain 2 spaces. So I worked my last stitch down here. Then I chained 31, and sorry, there's so much strands. Sorry about all that. Okay, so then I chained 31 and I worked just 1 into the chain 2 space, chain 31, and I'm working 1 into the very first double crochet over here. So that's how I am doing this portion, just like this. Okay, let's do the ribbon portion. Now on this capelet, the ribbons just kind of hang loosey-goosey on the ends. Now I made the ribbons a little extra long on purpose so that I can trim them, and I think I'm going to try to put a little nail polish, a little clear nail polish on the end to keep them from fraying. But as you can see, they just keep them willy-nilly loose on the ends. So I had 2 different shades of green. I had this deeper, darker green, and then I had this light green that has more yellow in it. So I am alternating light, dark, light, dark. So I'm going to do a dark one now and show you how I am doing that. Okay, so just coming up under right here. And let me get a pin, and look, I'm using my little pin cushion that we made. Okay, now I am actually going to sew this time, believe it or not. I'm not going to hot glue this. So just kind of hold it level to that right there. And that's where I'm going to pin it. There we go. And I must have folded this one. Yeah, I did. I'll fix that. But I am going to do just a simple sewing job. So I'm not so concerned about sewing this because it's just going to be simple, no real skill needed kind of sewing. Okay. Our very first, let me get you in here. Our very first bar right here, we're going to go over. And then the next one over, we're going to go under. And that's all there is to it. Over, the next one we go under. Over, and the next one we go under. There we go, all the way down to the end. So these ribbons, I'm cutting 11.5 to 12 inches long. So they are too long, but that's intentional because as you're working with them, they're going to start to fray. So you can cut off the excess fray, and I think we can get away with using a little nail glue, a little super glue, or some clear nail polish to kind of secure those ends in. Looks like this one wasn't quite as long, but that's okay. It's still, I'm going to cut them until they are about to right there. So we are going to need 23 strips of ribbon, and wow, everything is so red. There we go. My camera hates blues and greens, let me tell you, but I love this blue and green combo. I really like it a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna finish doing this, and I still have to finish putting on the rest of my fringe too. It was starting to get a little later in the day, and I wanted to finish this part, to do this part with you while I still have the benefit of the sunshine. Oh, Merlin. So I will be right back whenever I am all done with all of my ribbons and all of my fringe, and then we will see how it looks on Millie. Okay, here it is all done, and I am really happy with the different green colors, but I'll flip her around so you can see the back. Isn't that absolutely darling? I love the collar too. I wish the bow was bigger and fluffier like in the picture, but I didn't have any ribbon that thick. Okay. Let me flip her around for you. There's a side shot. And there is the back. Oh, I just love that collar. I love the colors. Oh, and it's dressing out my camera. There we go. So there it is, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you gonna make one? Anyways, this was so much fun. I just love making these old pieces, and you will be able to find the pattern for this one in, there will be a link in the description box down below. So until next time, next will be a mystery pattern, but this one's a little bit different with a little bit of a twist. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.